Popspective time. It's the Crow, baby. The Crow. Why would I talk about the Crow? Well, they're going to make the Crow movie. But I got to be honest, I have not read this comic, and I got it. Got my chance, man. I got my chance to take a look at Caliber Presents #1. This is a book, man. I have not had this book in decades. I mean, I think I sold my copy in the 90s. This comic book is, whoo. It does not have a high print run. I have no idea how rare this book is. And you look at this book and you think Crow? No. Look at it. It's not even listed. It's 1, 2, 3. It's the fourth. It's the fourth story listed on the bottom here. James O'Barr's Crow begins right here. The legacy of some characters in comic books and pop culture is really, really fascinating. This came out and kind of went under the radar screen for a lot of folks, but it did not for Caliber. So this is the story. It's about 7 pages in. It's actually the second story in the book. And you have this like black and white. It's literally in like an alley. He's got a robbery going on here, right? It's got a little Toshiba going on here, making his getaway. And then there's suddenly this little tricycle that rolls out. And he's like, what the? Yeah. And there he is. There's your first look at the Crow. He drops as a Toshiba. He drops thing he was going to sell. And he says, do I have your attention, Mr. Jones? I'm like, yeah, you got my attention. And the art doesn't quite work on the thug, but it's freaking great. Because look at how, because people know Crow because of the movie, right? The Brandon Lee movie. And we're just going to get a taste of the first version of Crow. And then the series is where this picks up. But I just want to focus on Caliber here because look at the name dropping, right? T-Bird, Tom Tom, Top Dollar, Fun Boy, Tintin. You're like, and look at it. He gets stabbed, right? He gets stabbed. And he says, man, you must be dusted to not feel that. And he says, pain? And then it's like, I know pain at the molecular level. It pulls at my atoms, sings to me in an alphabet of fear. I am the boiling man. Oh, it's so good. And then just like he's looking at the knife, just handing it there. And it's like, come to break the bones of your sins, meat puppet. Try again. He's like, I think I'll pass. Handing him the knife again. So good. And then there's a little bit of the interaction. And then he pulls out these little shears, and he's basically explaining to me that, here's your thing, man. They kind of roll over on you, man. It's like, well, no, Shelby wouldn't do that. He's like, so you're going to kill me? He's like, fingers or toes? Look at that picture. Look at the menacing look that he has right there. He won't let me scroll that up. That menacing look right there. So he's pleading, and he's like, I already count you among the dead. Look, it's a full moon. That's a street light, ghost man. So, and it's like, tell him I'm coming, Mr. Jones. And he starts talking about the situation. It's like, you're going to kill me. And I want to go back because he has this most terrifying line about the fingers and the toes. Let me see. I got it right here. I think it is right. No, maybe I don't have it in this one. Maybe I missed a page. But yeah, he's like, I'm going. He not only cuts him off, but he would feed him to the victim. Like, it's so dark. It's so edgy. It's also just so interesting. Like, there's during this era, the dark, brooding anti-hero, this was sort of birthed out of that whole, Dark Knight Returns, Watchmen era. And the Crow is such an amazing sort of creation that comes out of that. It's just tremendous. And then it's one of these things because it came out in '89. So all those books had already been out. And James Barr has this chance. He gets this little presentation that he's able to do here. And of course, it goes right into Crow getting his own standalone comic, which we can talk about. But this book, exceedingly, I'm going to say uncommon because I don't actually know about the print runs. I should look that up real quick and see. The other thing is, if you notice that book, how black covers, as I've talked about before, they get white stretch marks along their spine, right? So along that edge, they're going to be white marks. So that means that the real books are exceedingly rare the better the grade. Like, it is harder and harder and harder. And as each day and year goes by, there's another one out there that's getting damaged, that's getting lost. And this is a book that, I mean, hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars, depending on how high of a grade you want to go. You can probably, I mean, raw copies will probably cost you a pretty penny, because once you get near very fine or near mint, I mean, $500 would probably be the base price on things like this. It's just a really difficult book of a very key character. And I have to be honest, compared to other, I don't want to say superheroes, but comic book characters of this time, this first appearance book, as rare as it is, I'm actually shocked that it's not even more money. I know that sounds completely insane, but when you talking about, first appearance of Miles Morales is a few $1,000s. Well, The Crow, in some ways, it's just not been done right. It's like we only had our one good version with Brandon Lee, and then there's just a big mess, and they don't know what to do. And if The Crow ever caught on where someone could do like a trilogy, this thing is going to go exponentially through the roof. And the investors and speculators are going to really realize how low of a print run like the 9.8s and stuff will have, which what's going to happen is the only ones that are affordable are going to be lower grades, which is going to make everyone grade their books, which means even more books are going to kind of like disappear. So if you want to read this for yourself, there is a trade paperback, and you can look in there, make sure it says Caliber Presents 1. You can open it up. You can kind of get a feel or read the back and see. So trade paperbacks of The Crow have been collected. They're secondary market. So check your local comic book store, check conventions, check eBay, whatever you like that can find to fit your budget. But you should be able to find a copy on a trade paperback, a reprint, or something like that. If you have no interest in even dealing with the original copy, which I understand, like I said, could be very expensive. But that's how I got my copy to share with you guys and have some scanned versions for you guys. So where are you at on The Crow? Are you a big fan of The Crow? You're not a big fan of The Crow? You want to hear me talk about more Crow? What was your thoughts? If you've ever seen that before, does that make you want to see more of the character or not? I think that it's mysterious enough that even loosely, it seems like a character that you would want more of. Like, it's just, even if you're like, well, I'm not really into the brooding yet, but it's something about this character. Like, dark. Is he going to kill the guy? What's he doing? Who's all these names that he's dropping? Who are all these people? You feel like there's already a story. He doesn't arrive to explain things to you. We have no idea how he become the Crow. We have no idea what his powers are. We have no idea how he survives the knife the way he does. Like, it's so well done to treat you like a mature individual and why it would feed to make you want more. So anyway, that's my take on The Crow. Hopefully it's something that you might find interesting. Enjoy your comic book day. Hopefully you're doing that, trying to find old things, new things, whatever you want to do, find good things to enjoy the hobby. So let me know what you're doing, what you're thinking. I'm Pops.
Yeah. Right?